Hi class, for this module we're gonna revisit parabola, and this time not only we look at the parabola that open upward and downward, we're gonna look at the sideways parabola as well. So the parabola opens to the left or opens to the right. Now if you look at the two type of parabolas that I have written down for you, um, this is the typical parabola that we look at all the time, y equals x squared. So this is the one that opens upward or downward. This one right here is when you have x equals y squared. That's going to be the sideways parabola. Notice that the vertex is still hk. So I just want to make sure that you know h always go with x and k's always go with y. So keep that in mind. Now, let's take a look at the first example that we have. You see we have y squared instead of x squared. So when you look at the equation, you should know that, okay, this is going to be the sideways one. So you should make table, but before you do it, you should isolate the x. So if I multiply 4 over, I'm going to end up with 4y squared equals x. Okay, I'm going to make table just like we did before. We're going to pick two numbers, but we start from the vertex. So you see right here, the vertex is 0, 0. So I have 0, 0 for the vertex. Now, I remember that I show you to pick the points left, right, from the vertex because we have sideways. So you're gonna pick top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom of the vertex. So and this time because we have x equals y squared, we're gonna have to pick y and solve for x. All right, so y, I'm gonna choose the easy one. So how about 1 and -1? So it's gonna be the up, the top and the bottom from the vertex. So when y equals 1, x equals 4. Y equals -1, x equals 4. When y equals 2, um, x is gonna be 16. Y equals to -2, x is gonna be 16. Okay, so when you plot the points, we have 1, we have 4, 1, 4, -1. 16 is out here, so we have 10, 12, 14. So it's going to be somewhere right here, and it's somewhere right here. And you see that open sideways. Now, when you look at the equation, you should be able to tell that the graph is going to open to the right because A is positive, and that's your A. Okay? A right here. Okay, so let's take a look at number 22. So same thing, right? This time you have x equals to y squared. So once again, we're going to have the sideways one. Now notice that a is -1, so I know it's gonna open to the left. All right, so I'm gonna make table x, y. All right, notice that I told you k always go with y. So there's 7 here, and then x, the h always go with x. So it's going to be -5. Okay, so be careful when you read the vertex. Okay, so now I'm going to pick numbers. Like I said, top and bottom from the vertex. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm sorry about these numbers down here. They're incorrect. So 2, 5, and then we have y equal to 7. So it's going to be up here. That's going to be the vertex. So because I have negatives, I have y is 7. I'm going to pick y to be 6 and 8. Okay, so when y equals 6, what happened? When y equals 6, you plug it in. 6 minus 7 is 1. 1 squares, I'm sorry, 6 minus 7 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is still 1. And then we have negative 1 minus 5 is negative 6. Now, if you put 8, if you pick 8, you should get the same number. So 8 minus 7 is 1. 1 squared is still 1. Negative 1 minus 5, negative 6. Okay? So it's going to be negative 6, 2, 4, 6. So negative 6 right here. So we have right here and right here. Okay. Now, if I want to try 2 more points, that's fine. Like I said, top and bottom of the vertex. So since we picked 6, 8, I'm going to pick 5, 9. Okay, so when when y equals to 5, 5 minus 7 is negative 2. Negative 2 squares 4, so it's negative 4. Negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9. So same thing for 9. When you plug it in, you're gonna get negative 9. So it's right here, and it's gonna be 5. So it's right here and right here. So that's gonna be the parabola open to the left. Okay. All right. Now, the opposite. They're giving you some information. You have to write the equation. So before we talk about this, we're going to have to know the general information. So you see that we have the vertex and the focus. So if I have, like I mentioned earlier, these two types, okay? Now, the vertex is right here. So let's say if I have the typical one, and if this one is the vertex, this one, that line is what you call the directrix. And this point is the focus. Okay, now the distance from the vertex to the focus and from the vertex to the directrix should be exactly the same. Okay, and we're going to call it P. All right, so keep that in mind. Now, when you write equation, that's the first thing you should visualize it. So the first thing you should do is you should locate the vertex. So you know what? How about I'm just gonna put the vertex right here. So the vertex is 3 and negative 4. Okay. Now the focus is 3 5. So this is 3, negative 4. So 3, 5 is going to be up here. Right? Now, your parabola always going to go toward the focus and go away from the directrix. So based on this, I know that the parabola has to go this way. Okay, and now because I know that it's going that way, and I have to figure out this distance right here, and the distance is from negative 4 to 5. It's gonna be P. So it's the distance, so you can just take negative 4 minus 5, or 5 minus negative 4. It really doesn't matter. You're gonna have to take the absolute values anyway. So it's gonna be 9. Let's write down the general form. So the general form that I have Remember, we either have x squared or y squared. So let's talk about the one that we know well, which is the x squared. So x always go with h, and then this is always for p, then y goes with k. And then hk is the vertex. Now, for the y square is going to be the opposite. So it's going to be y minus k squared for p x minus h. Okay, so what I have right here is going back to our um, going back to our problem. You see that we have the typical one, which is the up and down one. So I know that it's going to be the first one. So it's going to be the x minus h squared. So it's going to be this one for p y minus k. Now I know h, the vertex is given, so it's going to be 3 squared 4, and we just found p, so p is 9, and then we have y plus 4. Okay, so the final solution is going to be x minus 3 squared equals 36, y plus 4. All right, now this number right here is positive because we have the parabola opened upward. You have to put a negative in if it's open downward. For the other one, if it opens to the right, it's going to be positive. If it opens to the left, it's going to be negative. Let's take a look at number 24. So number 24 gives you the focus and the directrix. You don't have the vertex. However, you know that the vertex is going to be in between the focus and the directrix. In fact, is the same distance, right? So first, let's just locate everything. Now, if I put the directrix right here, this is x equals negative 4. Now, you see the focus is negative 6, negative 3. So it's going to be to the left of the directrix. So it's going to be right here, negative 6, negative 3. Now you know that the parabola is gonna open toward the focus and away from the directrix. So I know that the vertex is gonna be right here. So from here to here and from here to here is P. So I know that the parabola is gonna open to the left like that. Now, if it's open to the left, you're going to have a negative number right there. So how do I find how do I find P and how do I find the vertex? You see that X is negative 4 here, and then right here is negative 6, right? So right in the middle, that's gonna be the vertex. So all you have to do is find the midpoint, right? From negative 4 to negative 6. So how do I do that? I can just take negative 4 plus negative 6 and divide by 2 to get the midpoint, which is negative 5. That's for x because I'm using x here. So it's going to be negative 5 here. Now for y, because we only the changing number is x, so y is going to be the same. So we have negative 3 for y. So we got the vertex. Now what we're looking for is P. Now P is going to be really easy, right? Because it's the distance from the vertex to the focus or from the vertex to the directrix. You see that I don't have to calculate anything, right? Because this is negative 5 and this is negative 6. So that's 1. Or this is negative 4 and this is negative 5. So P has to be 1. So P is 1. All right. Now, let's just put everything in. We have, because it's sideways, so I'm going to have y. Y plus 3 square equals, it's going to be negative this time, 4 times 1, so it's going to be negative 4, x plus 5. And that's how you do number 24. Moving on to number 25. Now, you see right there, they ask you for the vertex, focus, directrix, and axis of symmetry of the parabola. You can see right here is the y square, so it's similar to number 24. Okay? So the vertex, you can read the vertex right away. So that's going to be this number and that number. So it's going to be negative 4. I'm sorry, positive 4 and negative 2. That's the vertex. All right, so how do I figure it out? The focus and the directrix and axis of symmetry. How about I just like the previous problems, how about we try to visualize it? So let's say if this is 4 and negative 2, you see right here we have negative 7. So I know that the parabola is going to open to the left. Like that. Okay, so the focus is right here. Directrix is right here. So now I know the directrix is going to be x equals something. Right? And then the focus is going to be a different x and the same y. So from here, how do we figure out this number right here, which is p? Don't forget that negative 7. This one. Okay. So y minus k squared equals 4p x minus h. Okay, so that 4p in our current problem is negative 7. So to solve for p, we just take 4p equals negative 7. Okay, so p is going to be 7 over 4. I understand you might think, okay, it's going to be negative 7 over 4, but p, don't forget, p is just the absolute values. Okay, so that's why I put 7 over 4. Now, so to find the focus, you see right here for the vertex. Okay, don't forget x is the number that changed. So 4, and then we go p distant, we're going to get to the focus. So I'm going to take 4, which is this 4 right here, and I subtract 7/4, which is 16 over 4 minus 7. So that's going to be 9/4. Okay, so the focus is going to be 9/4, and then the same number of y, negative 2. Directrix is from 4, and then so you go the other way. So I'm going to add for the directrix. So 4 plus 7/4. So what I have is 16 over 4 plus 7 over 4 is 23 over 4. So the directrix is going to be x equals to 23 over 4. Okay. Axis of symmetry, what's that? The axis of symmetry is the line that cut the parabola in half, and they are symmetrical. So if I take that half of the parabola, I flip it over the axis of symmetry, I should get the identical one. So you see right there is the y, is the horizontal, so it has to be y. And of course, we have the y values right there, so it's y equals negative 2.